Hello and welcome to the NooBiker channel. I am the NooBiker. I am a NooBiker because I've been riding since about 2018 and I've owned this Kawasaki Z1000SX since March 2020. So that's going on for 4 years, during which I've put on over 22,000 miles on this bike. So I've used it for touring in Europe, I've used it for touring in the UK, I've used it for my IAM course and observing. And so if you want to hear an honest owner's long-term review, then stay tuned and watch the rest of the video. So yeah, here she is, my 2018 Kawasaki Z1000SX, which I lovingly call Frankie. The reasons for that are secret, but Frankie here I've owned since March of 2020. I bought her just before COVID and then couldn't ride her for a while, but since then I've put over 22,000 miles and I've done all sorts of different riding on it. A bit of motorways, a bit of touring in the UK, a bit of touring in France. The videos are out there on my channel. Go and watch those if you're interested. But yeah, what can I tell you about it? Does everything. Very underrated bike. Let's turn on the dash and show you what she has. So, you turn it on, goes through the tests and stuff. So it has a rev counter here in analog, which I like. It has a gear indicator and a clock. Then it's got the odometer, and you can change. It's got two trip computers. I tend to use trip A for the tank, so I know when it gets to about 150 to 180 I need to fuel up. And trip B for the mileage for the year, but it got accidentally reset this year. I've done more than that this year already. It's March. Over here it has so let's put back on the odometer. Over here it has a temperature gauge, which I find is pretty good, and you can also have it showing the fuel economy, miles per gallon, UK. So that's the immediate one and that's the average one, and it also shows a range, which tends to be like I said, about 180 to 200 miles. Now you can have all of these units changed, so you can have the speed in kilometers per hour or miles per hour. You can have the temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can have miles per gallon, kilometers per liter, liters per 100 kilometer. You can change everything using these two buttons. Now, I am 5'7" or 170 centimeters in height, with a 30-inch inseam or 76 centimeter inseam. And for me, this bike, it's got a great riding position. It's a nice triangle on the balls of my feet. My knees are right under the tank. I can grip it easily, and it's a nice little lean to the bars. It's not too extreme, it's not too sporty, it's nice and upright. You can ride with your arms nice and relaxed. The only minor niggle I have sometimes is that my heel tends to touch the hanger for the passenger foot pegs here, but it's not really a problem. It doesn't constrain my foot position. So from here to the brake is nice and easy. Same on the other side for the gear lever. It's all good. This has got adjustable span levers on both sides, and so it's really nice to set up. The mirrors fold very easily, so if you're going through traffic and you want to make yourself a bit narrower, you can just reach and make both mirrors narrower. The screen is adjustable. Not easy to do on the go, but if you just press a lever here, has 1, 2, 3 positions. I tend to use that if I'm on the motorway, and that at all other times. Right, enough faffing and talking. Let's take this baby out for a ride. which is what she's for. Very easy to get on. Side stand comes off, drops into gear with a clunk. Very easy to maneuver into slow. It's got a nice turning circle. Back brake is nice and stabilizing. Now let's take her out onto the roads. It has loads and loads of grunt and torque from down low, even from about 3000 RPM. So you can easily ride it in fourth gear, 40 miles an hour, no problem at all. Just sits there ticking over at around 3000, and if you want to go, it will go. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. So that makes it very nice and easy to ride, because you don't have to be chasing gears. You can just kind of ride the torque, as it were. The brakes are nice and progressive. It needs very little force to stop it quickly. In traffic, I find that it's very nice and noticeable. It has the twin headlights, so it's you know, that helps cars to kind of get a gauge of its size and speed. I think it's also got nice wide mirrors, which helps, you know, drivers to kind of triangulate where you are. It's very easy to maneuver slowly and filter, so even here we can just drop it down to second gear, get to the lights. Actually, there's no landing zone for me, so I'm just going to hang back here, but it could easily fit in that gap. So even in town, even here doing 30, I can be in fourth gear, and it's just about 2,500–3,000 RPM, absolutely fine, doesn't miss a beat. Now I'm just cruising along, there's nothing really here for me to be worried about, but you know, fourth gear, third gear, either one works. Very flexible, very flexible. State of the roads. And even if you wanted second gear, it's got more than enough power for road riding, normal legal road riding. It's got more power than is needed, really. I think it's got over 100 it's more than 130. I'll put some figures up here. I probably don't use even close to 2/3 of it for road riding, and it then has a little bit of additional power if you wanna take it on track. It's a bit heavy. I wouldn't call it a track bike. It's a sport tourer. So it's not a track bike, but you can have fun in a track. I have. There's a video of me in Follenbray. I enjoyed that immensely. It was challenging and exciting to ride this on the track. Can always easily find neutral on this, and it's got a neutral indicator there, the green light, and it's got a gear indicator there. It's got indicator lights for both sides, and it has hazard lights. So the riding position is nice and comfortable. It's got a two-part seat, so the pillion seat kind of gives a little stop for your behind, your bottom at the back. It is got a nice and plush ride. The suspension is a good compromise between being too firm and being too soft. So for me, I think it's just right. And it's fully adjustable as well for preload, rebound, and damping on the forks here at the front. and then it's got a preload and rebound at the rear. I found that out of the factory the spring was a little bit too soft for my use, because I'm a heavy dude, or heavy-ish, and I like to take my daughter pillion, so there wasn't enough spring left to preload for both of us when we were together, so it ended up being a little bit squatted down when I was with my daughter. But I took it to a guy and he fitted stiffer springs. I told you had enough power for the road. It feels very nice and stable in the corners. And even over bumps, it's not crashy, it soaks them up. So I love taking this bike out on group rides through country roads here in the UK, some touring here in the UK where we hit the twisties. It gives me great joy. It's a really good bike for that. So if you're looking for something that can munch up the motorway miles and then hit the twisties and keep you entertained, this is definitely one you should consider. Now it has 2 power modes and 3 traction control modes, which you can change via this button here. I'm going to be honest with you, I have never used this. I have put it on full power and traction control 1, which is the least intrusive, and I have never had an issue. And that just might be me. I'm fairly easy going with my right wrist, at least for the bike. So your mileage may vary on that one, but I don't find myself saying, oh, it's a bit wet, I need to be in half power mode, or wanting to increase my traction control. I have never found it intruding on me. So what else can I tell you? Please stay there. The horn sounds like this. That's the horn. Does the job. Sends a warning out to the front. Maneuvering it in a car park, very easy. It's got nice grab rails here, so you can just easily push it and control it. It's nicely balanced. A bit heavy, but easy enough to do. So tyres, I have used on this bike the original tyre, which was Bridgestone S21s, I believe. I changed those to Metal Z8s, which I rode for 10,000 miles or so. When those were done, I have now put in Pirelli Angel GT2s, which I have used now for 10,000 miles as well. And they're still holding up, but they're going to have to be changed very soon, because I am going on a fairly long tour, a 2,000-mile tour of Scotland, so they definitely won't last that much longer. So new tyres are going to go on. Ownership experience wise, this bike has averaged around about 45-46 miles per gallon over its life, and it's kind of stayed fairly consistent. It's easy to work on. I do all the oil changes and brake fluid changes myself. For the complicated stuff to get to, like spark plugs, valve clearance checks, which are coming up, I will take them to my dealership. I haven't had any reliability issues other than an issue with the fuel tank, which there's put a video up, but it had it developed a rusty pipe on the inside, and that was leaking fuel into the evap box. So we found a replacement tank. There wasn't one on eBay for 100 quid, which was nice, and that got changed, and that's this tank here. I've put a video with my 5 likes and 5 dislikes where I talk about some of the paint work and stuff, so you can go and watch that. But I haven't had any sort of major issues with this at all. Changed the sprockets and chain when they were due. The first owner, I bought it second hand, the first owner hadn't looked after the chain very well, so it didn't last very long. But I had it changed for the DID number, which is really nice. But yeah, I absolutely love this bike. I'm going to find it very hard to find a replacement for it, although I am looking. I am going to try out the new Suzuki the GX. I'm thinking about the Yamaha Tracer 9, which the fuel ride race uses. So Gregor, interested in that as a potential replacement for this. But you know, it's gonna take something. It's gonna take something for me to want to replace this bike with something else. I mean, I've had a go on the V100 Mandela, the Guzzi. It was nice, but not nice enough at the price to persuade me to chuck this in. I had a go on the BMW R1250 RS and the 1300 RS as well, I think. Again, very nice bike. Nothing wrong. Nothing against it. It's just I didn't see a compelling reason to get rid of this, to get that. It didn't have more power, it didn't have more torque, it didn't have more anything. It had a BMW badge. Anyway, those are my thoughts. So these are honestly just my own opinions. I am not sponsored by Kawasaki, but I'm open to suggestions if you work out or to pay me some money. And if you're watching, which you're not, but these are just my own honest opinions on this bike. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you have a different experience of owning a Z1000SX, also let me have it in the comments. I mean, I look at the forums, I don't see that many issues with it. But if you have had a bad experience, I'd be interested to hear it. But for now, this is my opinion, and I thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. I hope to catch you in the next one. For now, this is NooBiker.